The movie begins with a police officer, Gaitonde, transferring to a new police station in Panalim, a small town in North Goa, India. The area has two police stations, the old one and a new one inaugurated just last week. At the station, a man named Vijay Sulgaonkar, who appeared to be detained, was present. In a flashback, Vijay is shown as an ordinary man running a TV cable business. He had dropped out of college in his fourth year. Vijay spent most of his time at his office with his friend Jose, watching movies. Known for his kind nature, Vijay was liked by everyone who knew him. One day, while eating lunch at a tavern across from the police station owned by a man named Martin, Vijay noticed an elderly couple looking distressed. When he asked what was wrong, they explained their situation. Their son had been jailed by a corrupt police officer, Gaitonde, because they couldn't pay off a loan to a credit company. Gaitonde, the cousin of the company's owner, had no connection to the case but used threats to keep the couple silent. He warned them that reporting the issue to his superior would put their son's life in danger. Vijay remembered a movie where a man used the legal principle of habeas corpus to challenge unlawful imprisonment. He decided to help the couple by connecting them with a lawyer he knew. However, as Gaitonde approached the tavern, Vijay quickly told the couple to leave before Gaitonde saw them. Despite his time-consuming passion for movies, Vijay was a devoted family man. Vijay deeply loved his family. He and his wife, Nandini, had two daughters, Anju and Anu. However, Nandini often complained that Vijay spent too much time in his office watching movies instead of being with them. She urged him to take her and their daughters on a vacation and shopping trip to Panaji, a nearby city. During the trip, Anju shared exciting news with her parents. She had been chosen to represent her school at a high school camp in Goa. Vijay agreed to let her attend, and Anju went to the camp. Her beauty made her the center of attention there, and a young man named Sam, who liked her, frequently recorded her. Meanwhile, Vijay's brother, Rajesh, visited their home to share news about closing a mine with his organization due to its environmental impact. One day, while having lunch at Martin's Tavern, Vijay met Rain, a contractor working on the new police station's construction. Shortly after, Gaitonde arrived at the tavern. He suspected Vijay of assisting an elderly couple and disapproved of his actions. Gaitonde often visited Martin's Tavern, but never paid for his meals. Instead, he told Martin to be thankful because the construction of the new police station brought workers to his tavern, boosting his sales, all thanks to Gaitonde. Vijay disliked how Gaitonde treated Martin, so he sarcastically hinted at Gaitonde's bad habits in front of the chief, Sawant. One day, while Vijay was digging a hole for compost, Nandini mentioned a religious figure named Swami, who planned to give a lecture in Panaji on October 2nd to 3rd. She suggested that the family attend. Suddenly, Anju arrived and talked about her camp and a man named Sam, who often recorded the women there. Later, Gaitonde confronted Rain outside Martin's Tavern because Rain had reported Gaitonde's bad behavior to Senior Inspector Prabhu, which angered Gaitonde. Vijay supported Rain, knowing he did the right thing. The next day, Nandini sent Anju to the market to shop. On her way back from the market, Sam intercepted her. He showed her a video of her changing clothes and blackmailed her. He demanded she meet him alone in her backyard at midnight, threatening to spread the video if she refused. When she got home, fear overwhelmed her, and she didn't know what to do. That night, a rainstorm delayed Vijay at his office, leaving her alone at home. At midnight, Sam arrived at the house, but Anju wasn't alone. She had brought her mother, Nandini, to confront him. When Sam saw Nandini, he repeated his threat to expose the video. Nandini begged him to delete it, and both women tried to grab his phone, but they failed. Sam agreed to delete the video, but only if Nandini did something for him in return. The next morning, Vijay came home and found his family visibly shaken. He soon discovered what had happened. The previous night, during the confrontation, Anju tried to destroy Sam's phone with an iron rod. In the struggle, she accidentally struck Sam on the head, killing him instantly. She smashed the phone to ensure the video was gone and tried to call Vijay, but his office phone was off. Panicking, Anju and Nandini decided to bury Sam's body in the yard. However, Anu witnessed the burial. Nandini later asked Vijay if what she did was wrong. Vijay reassured her, saying that going to the police would ruin Anju's life. He urged her to stay calm and vowed to protect his family at any cost. Vijay told everyone to clean up the evidence. He removed the SIM card from Sam's phone, knowing the police could track it if inserted into an active phone. He instructed everyone to stay in the house and keep it closed until he returned. Vijay planned to take Sam's car, but when he tried to enter it, the alarm went off. Gaitonde, who was at a neighbor's house, heard the noise. Vijay quickly turned off the alarm, but Gaitonde briefly saw him getting into the car. On his way, Vijay saw a banner for Swami's lecture, which reminded him of his wife mentioning it. He went to a phone store, bought a phone, and handed the SIM card to the clerk without touching it, asking him to insert it into the phone. As he left the store, the phone received a message and a call. Vijay then went to a truck station, wiped his fingerprints off the phone, and threw it onto one of the trucks. Vijay remembered the clothes mine his brother Rajesh had mentioned and decided to dump Sam's car there. At his office, Jose informed him he had been away for 2 days to attend Swami's lecture in the city. Vijay surprised Jose by being unusually kind, a sharp contrast to his usual scolding demeanor. Later at home, Vijay advised his family to hide their fear and worry because even Jose, an ordinary person, noticed their suspicious behavior. He warned that experienced police would find it even easier to detect. He told his family to pack their belongings, as he planned to take them to Panaji to ease their anxiety. Vijay instructed them to tell anyone who asked that they were attending Swami's lecture in Panaji, even though the event had already ended. Nandini informed Vijay that Sam was the son of Goa's General Inspector, Meera. Known for her strict, intelligent, and ruthless nature, Meera wouldn't hesitate to torture or kill in the name of justice. Her husband Mahesh, worried about Sam's absence since the previous night, tried to calm down, but Meera dismissed his concerns. Vijay and his family boarded a bus to Panaji. The driver, familiar with Vijay, refused to charge him for the trip. Once in Panaji, Vijay visited the venue of Swami's last lecture and booked a nearby hotel. The family ate at a restaurant, went to the cinema, and returned home later. Back at home, Nandini and Anju gazed worriedly at Sam's grave in the yard. Spotting them, Vijay immediately reminded them to stay calm and conceal their fear. He asked them to keep all their receipts. One morning, the police suddenly arrived to meet Vijay. Anju, seeing the police, nearly panicked, but Vijay quickly covered her face to hide her tears. Meanwhile, Meera grew increasingly worried and suspected something had happened to her son, Sam. She asked the cyber division to track his phone. The results showed that Sam had traveled far from Goa to Kanchipuram, but his phone eventually died. The police also discovered something at an abandoned mine. Swimmers found Sam's yellow car submerged there, and investigators estimated it had been underwater for almost 2 weeks. Meera, determined to keep the case out of the media spotlight, decided to dig deeper into her son's disappearance. According to the cyber division, Sam's phone was last active on October 2nd at 7 p.m. in Pondolam. The signal disappeared around 10:30 p.m. and was reactivated at 9:25 a.m. in Panaji the next day before finally shutting off in Kanchipuram. The police revealed that the phone used on October 3rd was different from the one that went off the previous night. With this information, they focused their investigation on Goa. Mahesh believed something bad had happened to Sam. The police circulated details of the case to all local stations, including Pondolam. Gaitonde, recognizing the yellow car in the photos, recalled seeing Vijay driving it earlier. He decided to test his suspicions by confronting Vijay directly. Martin asked Vijay for money in front of Gaitonde. Surprisingly, Vijay didn't react as he usually would. When Martin mentioned that the police had found a yellow car, Vijay looked shocked and left the scene. Before he got too far, Gaitonde told Prabhu that if Vijay was guilty, he would act nervously and look back. However, Vijay didn't do that, which made Prabhu believe Vijay wasn't the culprit. Gaitonde, on the other hand, was convinced of Vijay's guilt because he had seen him with the same car found in the abandoned mine. At home, Vijay warned his family that the police would eventually come to investigate and might use violence to prove their case. He told them not to worry, stay calm, and stick to their made-up story no matter what. He reassured them that the police had no evidence connecting them to Sam and insisted they were safe. Vijay also told Nandini they were doing the right thing and reminded them they only had two choices: give up or fight for their freedom. The police then questioned Vijay's neighbor about whether he had seen Vijay driving a yellow car. The neighbor couldn't confirm it, as there were many yellow cars in the area. Later, Prabhu discovered that Anju wasn't Vijay's biological daughter, but a baby he had found and raised as his own. Anju attended a high school camp where she met Sam. Prabhu became even more convinced Vijay was a good person after learning he had saved a baby and started doubting Gaitonde's accusations. However, Gaitonde continued denying the evidence. The police visited Anju's school to investigate. When Anju saw them, she panicked briefly but remembered her father's advice. She composed herself and answered their questions calmly in the headmaster's office. The police asked about Sam's disappearance. Anju stuck to her father's instructions not to mention anything that happened at home. Even when Gaitonde pressed her, claiming they knew she met Sam on October 2nd, Anju denied it. She stated that her family was out in Panaji attending Swami's lecture on October 2nd and 3rd. The police checked Anju's school attendance for those days. However, they discovered the school had been closed due to Gandhi's national holiday and Sunday. Satisfied for now, they allowed Anju to return to class. Next, the police questioned Nandini and Vijay after receiving a call from the school principal. Nandini and Vijay denied knowing Sam or seeing a yellow car. The police, however, claimed they had seen Vijay driving the same yellow car Sam had used. They remained convinced that Sam had visited Vijay's house. Nandini finally admitted that the family wasn't home on the 2nd and 3rd of October, even though the police hadn't mentioned the date. Gaitonde felt confident he had proven his accusation, but Vijay skillfully turned the situation around. He explained that his wife was still in shock over what happened to Anju and pointed out that they already knew the date of the incident from the school headmaster, proving their earlier statement was truthful and not fabricated. Vijay claimed that Gaitonde's accusation was a personal vendetta, as they had never gotten along. To support his claim, Vijay presented a purchase receipt from that date, explaining that his family kept receipts to track their expenses. Despite this, Gaitonde insisted he had seen Vijay with the yellow car. They decided to meet Meera to clarify the matter, but Meera revealed proof of their travel receipt. She then asked the police to bring Vijay and his family to meet her. The police would also check the authenticity of the receipt. Meera was sure that if Vijay was lying, he wouldn't be that smart for a person who only got to grade 4 of elementary school. Vijay and his family were interrogated in different rooms and asked what they did at Panaji on October 2nd and 3rd. It turned out that Vijay had already told his family before. He said that when they were interrogated and they had the perfectly same answers, the police might suspect them of making up their answers, especially if it was a matter of time. So, to avoid suspicion, both Vijay and Nandini would answer in detail, but Anju and Anu would not answer in detail. Vijay told everyone that the police might try to lie to reveal the truth, and so they had to stay firm with their answer. On the other hand, Vijay's family and friends knew that they had been arrested for unclear reasons, so they tried to brag to the police station. Some journalists also had been told that Vijay's family was accused of an unclear reason and were undergoing interrogation. Meera said that if there was something strange about the interrogation, she wondered how come a little girl could be so firm with her statement. Sadly, they couldn't prove that they were lying because they didn't have permission from the court to use a lie detector. And to get that permission, Vijay and his family must be proven guilty first. Meera then asked the police to interrogate those people who would have seen Vijay on October 2nd and 3rd, because if Vijay was lying, they wouldn't see him during that time. Apart from that, Meera also asked the staff of the hotel, bus, and restaurant that Vijay visited during his trip to Panaji to meet her as well. Rajesh met Vijay in the night to ask what happened to him, but Vijay didn't say a word. He just said that the time would come when his help would be needed. It was the turn of the people that Vijay met for interrogation. Everyone said that VJ really went to Panaji on the 2nd and 3rd of October, and the hotel registration book also confirmed that VJ stayed on the same date. VJ was even able to tell the contents of Swami's lecture to Jose and Martin. Swami also said that it seemed VJ and his family had indeed come because he could remember his lecture in detail. Mira was confused about what else to do, but somehow she felt that VJ's family was lying. Mira found out from the bus ticket man that VJ took some money from the ATM at the bus station. Mira then asked to see the security camera footage at the ATM on October 3rd, the day when VJ departed from Panaji to Pondolam. Mira asked how could the ticket man remember the exact date when VJ went for the bus because every day there will be hundreds of passengers, and it turns out VJ was a step further from the police. VJ deliberately went back to Panaji to meet everyone that he met on his trip before and reminded them that they met on October 2nd and 3rd and also attended Swami's lecture. VJ psychologically manipulated their memories and altered them as he pleased. Mira discovered that someone had recorded Swami's lecture and shared it with others, which is how VJ was able to repeat the lecture in detail. Despite gathering evidence, they couldn't prove VJ was responsible for Sam's disappearance. The strongest evidence was the security footage from the ATM. However, when they reviewed the footage from October 3rd, VJ was seen withdrawing money, confirming he was in Panaji on that date. Mira worked hard to piece together the case from the beginning. Mira concluded that VJ had lied about being in Panaji with his family on October 2nd and 3rd. She realized VJ was very clever. He and his family did visit Panaji, but not on those specific dates. VJ claimed his children were sick and didn't go to school, and he had a note for their medicine. However, Mira pointed out that the medicine note could be easily faked. On October 3rd, Mira retraced VJ's steps. She took Sam's car, did the same activities alone, bought 4 movie tickets and 4 bus tickets to get a receipt for that day. The next day, October 4th, she invited her family to do the same, added her name to the hotel register for October 2nd, and used a fake name for October 4th when the hotel staff wasn't looking. On October 5th, VJ pretended to withdraw money from the ATM, but didn't. Afterward, he watched Swami's recorded lecture in Panaji for more details before meeting with the same people. He convinced them that he was in Panaji on October 2nd and 3rd. VJ cleverly manipulated the situation to deceive the police, but despite knowing the truth, Mira couldn't prove it without solid evidence. She realized she would need to force a confession. The police took VJ and his family for another round of questioning. This time, Rajesh helped by contacting all the numbers in VJ's possession, which were journalist numbers from India. Mira revealed that she had uncovered all of VJ's plans, but he and his family denied everything. Eventually, they resorted to violence. After being beaten, Alex, Sam's friend, came forward with his testimony. He admitted that he had been in contact with Sam before he disappeared, but didn't know where Sam was or where he was going. Alex then told Mira everything, including how Sam secretly filmed Anju and planned to blackmail her for fun. Mira was shocked, but more convinced that VJ's family was involved. She asked VJ to confess since she already knew about the video, but he continued to deny everything. Mira then asked Gaitonde to do whatever it took to make them confess. VJ, Nandini, and Anju still insisted on their statement, so Gaitonde targeted Anu. He took everyone out of the room, but kept Anu inside. Mira said that Anu wouldn't be able to tell the truth if her parents were still there with her. Outside, Anju and Nandini, who were too worried about Anu, told VJ that they wanted to tell the truth, but VJ forbade them because they had gone this far and couldn't hold back anymore. He promised that nobody from them would end up in jail. Inside, Mahesh scolded Mira and asked for this all to stop because what they were doing was against the law. After all, they still didn't admit it. Mahesh said that it was nice to say that Gaitonde's accusation could be wrong. Gaitonde, who was engulfed with emotions, suddenly slapped Anu, hard enough to scare her and spill the truth. Anu finally told where they buried Sam. The police then went to the grave. Journalists and people were seen at the scene. VJ's family and friends told the journalist about Gaitonde's bad habit. On the other hand, the excavation was unstoppable. Slowly, a rotten smell coming from the grave started spreading. But shocking, When they found the source of the rotten smell, it was not Sam's body but a body of a dead animal. Vijay then approached Rajesh and told him that Gaitonde had beaten his daughter, Anu, for the sake of the investigation. Everyone who was fed up with Gaitonde's bad demeanor finally barged in and beat Gaitonde. The news of the case was spread where the police had tortured Vijay's innocent family. Many demonstrations took place everywhere. Gaitonde was discharged from his job as a policeman. Prabhu and the other policemen that were involved in the case were transferred. Mira was off duty for an unspecified time. And the police were not allowed to interrogate Vijay's family if they don't get permission from the court. Nandini said that Mira's family life had been ruined even though it was not entirely their fault. Vijay was happy to know that his wife didn't have a grudge against Sam's family. But in the end, if the situation was reversed, he was sure that Mira's family would also do the same without considering who was wrong or right. Nandini asked when did he move Sam's body, and it turned out Vijay moved Sam's dead body at the time when he came back home on October 3rd night. Vijay kept a secret about where he buried Sam's body, even though it was to his own wife. From the start, Vijay was very sure sooner or later one of them would admit where the body was buried, so he decided to move the body and replace it with a dead animal corpse. Suddenly, the police came, not to arrest Vijay, but to tell him that he was asked to meet Mira and Mahesh. Mahesh said that they met him not as the inspector general or a businessman, but as parents. They both really love their only son, Sam, and they know that they spoiled him so much, resulting in his bad demeanor and the incident. They said that they were moving to London, but before that, Mahesh begged Vijay to tell them what happened to Sam, because all this time, they were tormented and hoped that Sam was still alive. Sam didn't say a word, and they decided to leave, but suddenly, Vijay apologized. Vijay said his little family lived in harmony until one day, an uninvited guest entered their home and tried to disrupt their peace. They tried to stop him, but he refused to listen, and an incident occurred. They forced the guest to a place with no way back. Vijay subtly admitted that he had killed Sam, but in the politest way possible. He explained that his family was the most important to him, and at that moment, he couldn't think of right or wrong. He apologized sincerely from the heart. Later, Vijay visited the new police station to meet the senior inspector who had replaced Prabhu to sign off on the case. The inspector remarked that Vijay must feel proud for fooling the entire police force. He was confident that Sam's body would eventually be found. Vijay said he respected the police and could never fool the entire force. Finally, he expressed his belief that the new inspector and police station would always protect him. The plot twist came at the end. Vijay had secretly buried Sam's body beneath the new police station 2 days before the contractor, Rain, installed the floor there. And that's how the movie ends. What did you think of this movie? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and press the bell icon for more amazing videos. See you next time.